Good morning, dear students. Today we will discuss the functions of liver. So, what are the functions of liver? First is it secretes bile, which is an alkaline dark green colored fluid having several organic and inorganic salts. As you know, our liver, what it does, it secretes a bile, a substance called bile, which is an alkaline. Its pH is in alkaline, means it is a base which is an alkaline, and its color is in the dark green colored fluid. It is a fluid, it is a liquid which is in dark green color and having a alkaline medium. And it also contains the bile also contains some organic and inorganic salts. So our liver, what it does, the first main function is it secretes the bile, and this bile also performs several functions in our body. So let's see what are the functions that bile performs. First is the bile is responsible for the emulsification of fats. Bile is responsible for the emulsification of fats. Emulsification, that I have already told you. Emulsification, that means the conversion of the large fat molecules into simpler fat molecules. That is known as the emulsification. So bile is responsible for the emulsification of fats, means it breaks down large fat molecules into the simpler and small fat molecules. Next, this bile, it stimulates peristalsis. It also stimulates the peristalsis movements. You already know what is peristalsis movements. It is a wave-like movement that occurs in the stomach or in the muscles of the alimentary wall, so that the food can be digested very well, or the foods get passes for forward direction. The food will be passed to the forward direction for the further digestion process. So the next function is some bile salts are necessary for the absorption of vitamin K and other vitamins soluble in fats. That means some bile salts that are very important and necessary for the absorption of vitamin K, because vitamin K, it is very important for the blood clotting process. So the absorption of vitamin K is very necessary, and some bile salts, it absorbs the vitamin K and other vitamins soluble in fats. So what are the fat soluble vitamins? That is the A, D, E and K. These are the fat soluble vitamins, and these bile salts, it absorbs vitamin K as well as the fat soluble vitamins like A, D, E and K. Next, bile acts as an antiseptic, therefore it does not allow the growth and multiplication of bacteria. Bile, it also functions as an antiseptic, and it does not allow, or it prevents from the growth and multiplication of any bacteria which enters the body or which enters in the liver. Next, function. So these are the functions of the bile, and this liver secretes the bile. So it is also included in the functions of the liver. Next function of the liver is liver regulates the blood sugar level. Liver also helps to regulate the blood sugar level. The normal blood sugar, we considered the normal as from the 90 to 120 mg per ml of blood. So this liver also regulates the blood sugar level. And how it regulates the blood sugar level? By the process of glycogenesis. By the process of glycogenesis, or by the process of glycogenolysis. So let's see what is this glycogenesis process. The glycogenesis process, it is a process in which the excess glucose is converted into the glycogen. The excess glucose is converted into the glycogen by liver cells. With the help of insulin secreted by the pancreas. So what is what is glycogenesis? It is a process by which excess It is a process by which excess glucose is converted into glycogen by liver cells, by the help of the liver cells, and with the help of insulin secreted by the pancreas, and by the process of glycogenolysis. So what is glycogenolysis? It is the process in which conversion of excess glycogen into glucose. The excess glycogen is converted into glucose by the liver cells with the help of glucagon, that is secreted by the pancreas. So what is glycogenolysis? It is a process in which excess glycogen is converted into glucose by the liver cells and by the help of glucagon, which is secreted by the pancreas. So don't confuse in glycogenesis and glycogenolysis. Glycogenesis is the conversion of excess glucose into glycogen, and glycogenolysis is the conversion of excess glycogen into glucose. It is in opposite. These both are in opposite process. So this liver regulates the blood sugar level by the help of these two important processes, that is glycogenesis and glycogenolysis. Let's see the next function. And the third function is liver also controls lipogenesis. So what is lipogenesis? Lipogenesis is the conversion of excess of glucose. It is the conversion of excess of glucose and amino acids into the fats. It is the conversion of excess glucose and amino acids into the fats, which also takes place in the liver. That means in the liver, lipogenesis, it controls lipogenesis. That means conversion of excess glucose and amino acids into fats. Next is the function of liver is liver changes hemoglobin of dead RBCs into bile pigments such as biliverdin and bilirubin, which are ingested out along with feces. That means liver, what it does, it also changes the hemoglobin molecules, the dead RBCs hemoglobin molecules, the RBCs which are in the dead form, the RBCs which are dead. This liver, what it does, it changes the hemoglobin molecules of that dead RBCs into the bile pigments, into the two most important bile pigments, that is the biliverdin and bilirubin. And this biliverdin and bilirubin, it is ingested or it is ingested out along with the feces. That means these are eliminated out from the body along with the feces or along with the unwanted materials or unwanted digested products. Next is the liver produces anticoagulant called heparin, which prevents the coagulation, that means clotting of blood in the blood vessels. That means the next function of the liver is liver also produces anticoagulant. Anticoagulant means it is a substance which does not allow blood to clot. It does not allow blood to clot. That is the anticoagulant, and the name of that anticoagulant which is secreted by the liver is the heparin. This heparin is the anticoagulant and it prevents the coagulation. Coagulation, that means clotting of blood. This heparin does not allow blood to clot. Where? In the blood vessels. In the blood vessels, the blood does not clot because of this anticoagulant present in the blood, that is the heparin, and which are produced by the liver. Next is liver produces two important proteins. Liver also produces the very important two important proteins, that is fibrinogen and prothrombin, which helps in clotting of blood at injury to check excess of bleeding. This you have already studied in the blood clotting process. These two important proteins for the blood clotting process is the fibrinogen and prothrombin. These two proteins, fibrinogen and prothrombin, it helps in the clotting of blood at injury site. Next is liver act as an erythropoietic organ. Liver also act or also function as an erythropoietic organ. That means it forms RBCs in the fetus. In the fetal stage, the liver produces RBCs. The liver produces or liver forms RBCs in the fetal stage when in the stage of the fetus, from where RBCs is secreted, liver, it forms the RBCs in the fetus. In the fetal stage, liver forms the RBCs, but in the adult stage, from where RBCs is formed? From the bone marrow. So liver also acts as erythropoietic organ. That means it forms an RBCs in the fetus or in the fetal stage. Next function of the liver is Kupffer cells of liver act as phagocytes which eat dead cells and bacteria by the process of phagocytosis. It means liver contains some Kupffer cells. These Kupffer cells, it act as an phagocytes, means it engulf or these cells eats the dead cells or the foreign materials like the bacteria by the process of phagocytosis and prevents the liver from the bacterial infections. Next function of liver is also a center for gluconeogenesis. Liver is also a center for gluconeogenesis. So what is gluconeogenesis? Gluconeogenesis, that means the formation of glucose from amino acids and fats. Gluconeogenesis, that means formation or the production of glucose from amino acids and fats, that is gluconeogenesis. And what is glyconeogenesis? Glyconeogenesis, that means formation of glycogen from amino acids and fats. So don't confuse in glycogenolysis, glyco and gluconeogenesis and glyconeogenesis. These four processes are different from each other. So don't confuse in these four processes. So what is gluconeogenesis? It is the formation of glucose from amino acids and fats. And what is glyconeogenesis? It is the formation of glycogen from amino acids and fats. Next is liver secretes a protein called angiotensinogen which helps kidneys to maintain body fluid or osmoregulation. That means liver also secretes some protein. A protein, its name is angiotensinogen. This angiotensinogen is very important for the regulation of the blood pressure. And if any changes occurs in this angiotensinogen, then hypertension can also be caused. So this is the very important protein. It helps in the regulation of blood pressure as well as the proper function of the kidneys for maintaining the body fluids. So what this angiotensinogen does, it helps the kidneys to maintain the body fluid, level, that is osmoregulation. Osmoregulation means the process by which the osmotic pressure of the fluids in the organism or in the human body is maintained through the maintenance of the water and salt balance. That is the osmoregulation. Osmoregulation, that means the process of maintenance of the osmotic pressure in the fluids. Osmotic pressure, that means the pressure or the force exerted by the fluids. The pressure of or the force exerted by the fluids when in the process of osmosis. So what osmoregulation does? The process of osmoregulation, it is the maintenance of the osmotic pressure in the body fluids. In the body fluids of the human body or body fluids of the organisms, by the maintenance of water and salt balance in the body. Next is liver. Next function is liver is the main heat producing center of the body. Due to high metabolic activities of the liver, enough heat is generated, which is very essential for maintaining the optimum body temperature. That means liver, what it does, it also acts as an heat producing center. It is the main heat producing center of the body. And how this occurs? Due to the high metabolic activities after the digestion of the foods, after the absorption of the foods, the metabolism which occurs in the body. So the metabolism, the activities of this metabolism, what it generates the heat. The metabolic activities of the liver, it generates the heat, and this enough heat is generated, which is very essential. This heat is very essential for maintaining the optimum body temperature. So liver organ, it also act as a main for heat producing center of the body. Next is, and one more center is there, that is the hypothalamus for the regulation of body temperature. Hypothalamus is also very important. It is also a heat or the body temperature regulation center, that is the hypothalamus. But liver, it is the heat producing center of the body. Through the metabolic activities, this enough heat is generated, which is very essential for the maintenance of body temperature. Next is, in liver, toxic ammonia is combined with carbon dioxide to form less toxic urea by the process of detoxification. That means the next function is the detoxification. Means the liver, it also helps in the detoxification. Detoxification means the conversion of the toxic substances, means removing of the toxic substances, that is known as the detoxification. And how it does? This liver is, it converts the toxic ammonia. It converts toxic ammonia, which is very harmful for the human body. So the liver, what it does, it converts the toxic ammonia into the urea, and this is the excess urea, it is excreted out in the urine. So how it is done? This toxic ammonia is combined with carbon dioxide. This toxic ammonia, it is combined with the carbon dioxide to form the less toxic urea. It forms the less toxic urea, and by the process of detoxification, means this liver, it converts the toxic ammonia, which is harmful for the human body. So it converts the toxic ammonia. How it converts? It combines the toxic ammonia, it combines with the carbon dioxide to form less toxic urea by the process of detoxification. And if excess urea is produced, that is excreted out from the body by the help of the kidney, by the filtration from the kidney. So these are the functions of the liver. These are the 12 very important functions of the liver. So I think you all have understood the functions of the liver. Thank you.